All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another episode of this freaking show, the weekly podcast with a little bit of something and a whole lot of nothing. I'm your host, Travis D, and alongside me this evening,
Awkward Colin.
Geek Cast Joe.
And I'm Clint.
and I am Clint.
Yay.
Clint is back.
Yes.
Yay!
Clint, thank you so much for joining us this evening for another spectacular movie altering event.
Dude, I'm excited. Thanks for including me again.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, like I got such positive feedback from the last time we did this with the Disney movies. I figured, why not do it again, and why not do it as soon as possible? So, I appreciate you coming on and doing this with us again, and we're going to get to that in a little bit. But first, I want to talk with everyone about the amazing experience we had eating breakfast at the Fire Pit Bar and Grill at Peatown.
Oh, it was so good.
It was delicious.
I there are so few words that I know in general, but phenomenal's one word I do know, and that's exactly what this breakfast was. And I'm not saying that I was surprised by how good it was, because I knew it was going to be good. The one thing I was surprised about is about the variety of menu options that they had, like right out the bat.
Yeah, especially considering it's not a very large menu.
No, not at all. And they never really had, anything like breakfast related on their menu before. I mean, obviously they never had breakfast, but I mean, they took actually some of their original menu items and converted it into breakfast items. Like the skillet I had, the primetime melt skillet. I mean, that's originally a primetime melt sandwich that they have on their regular menu, and they converted it into a delicious breakfast menu item. It was awesome.
Yeah, it looked really good.
It was. And then Joey, you and your wife enjoyed that big tower of fucking pancakes.
We did, and they were awesome.
Right? Colin enjoyed his skillet, the steak skillet.
Yes.
Yeah, it was so amazing. And I'm really happy the way last week's episode did turn out, how we were able to record it on location.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was
Absolutely.
incredible. It was fun to actually sit down with Lisa and Ron, the owners of the place, and I gotta say, I wanna give a good applause to the waitress, because I mean, knowing that she was being recorded, and it didn't let her affect her whatsoever.
Nope.
It was amazing.
She was just a little bit quieter than she probably would have been.
Probably.
But which is awesome. I mean, I like the fact that she was cool working around the fact that we were recording.
Absolutely. It was perfect. I got to enjoy my Bloody Marys. Colin enjoyed his mimosas.
Hell yeah.
I drank like a gallon of coffee.
Oh yeah.
Pretty sure.
Oh yeah. I think they literally had to brew all new coffee because you and Madeline just destroyed the coffee inventory they had.
Yep.
But it was.
Oh, it was so good. It was good coffee, though. That's... and this is one of those things I didn't really want to say there in the restaurant, but, to me, when I'm judging a breakfast menu, I look for basically two things. Are your pancakes good? Is your coffee good? Because those are the two things that, to me, those are the things that you should not screw up.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're sort of the easiest things to do right. And their coffee was supremely drinkable, and their pancakes were fluffy discs of cake that kept the syrup on top, which I thought was phenomenal. So,
instead of just absorbing them.
Yep, because I do love that gross syrupy paste thing, but it's not as good as pancakes,
Well, that was actually the first time, in a long time, that when I ordered a breakfast and they give you an option of either toast or pancakes, that's the first time I went with pancakes. Normally I just get the toast and everything, but I'm glad I went with the pancakes because they were so amazing. And on top of that, they're able to allow everyone to sample what I believe is their main menu item, the Big Bertha. They gave you a half order of biscuits and gravy with every order you made.
And it was good.
It was good. It was amazing. And I'm not a biscuits and gravy guy, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, physically, my body looks like gravy, but like, I'm not a physical fan of biscuits and gravy. But these were amazing. I loved them.
Yeah, the biscuits were perfect. They could put those on any. You could almost have those as a side to any of some of their even dinner menu items, and they'd be fantastic. And then the gravy was just delicious.
Yeah.
So, and then we went back later, and we tried two of the drinks that they had pitched us.
Yeah, we're fucked up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, yeah,
go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, I mean, like, and they actually described the drinks that we had. Lisa sat down and kind of talked with us on what the, because I tried a tropical Long Island iced tea. Well, I tried it
good.
twice, and and Joey, you ended up getting the cherry Skittle slushy or whatever they called it.
Yeah, I tried that twice too.
Yeah, and that was on me, you know, because I did order the second one for you, and I should have thought logically, hey, maybe he'd want to try a different flavor, but you weren't around. I was sitting at the bar by myself, so you know what, you got what I ordered you, but I tried it and it was amazing, and those are what I call dangerous drinks.
Yes.
Because when you get a drink that you could drink without worrying about any taste of any type of alcohol in it, and you just keep going and going and going, and that's how I felt like when they first came out with Not Your Father's Root Beer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're dangerous drinks because you just keep going with them. And you don't realize the alcohol content in it until you're butt naked in like the middle of the street. Ass up, you know?
Those
I
are the
didn't
best
do
types
that, did
of
I?
nights.
No.
All I remember very little of about the last hour and a half of the night. So,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I got filled in about some things by my wife this morning after we got home from church.
Yeah, it was.
Apparently, Nature Valley, they sell those sweet and salty peanut bars.
Yes.
We stopped at the gas station and she said, "Get me something to eat." And I went in and was like, what am I going to get her? What am I going to get her to eat? And so I found these things that I know she doesn't like, but I know that I like them and that they're vegetarian.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just drunk as a skunk. So I grabbed 3 of them. And apparently I grabbed 3 different sizes of the same thing. Like, yeah, I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to get her a bunch of different stuff. Nope. Got her 3 different sizes of the exact same thing.
Nice.
What you going to do?
Hey, at least you got something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You could have walked in there, used the bathroom, walked back out, and just drove away.
I would have been...
Right?
I might have been even more annoying at that point. But anyway, those are good drinks. And they tasted just like Skittles. I couldn't believe it.
Oh, God, yeah. It was amazing. The only thing that, I mean, like, I think if I got out of any of them, I'd probably just only get the cherry one because cherry's my absolute favorite of any kind of candy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do they have, like, something that tastes like a Jolly Rancher? I know I've had, like, a Jolly Rancher shot before, but, like, an actual Jolly Rancher, like, vodka or something like that, or is that something?
I don't know.
I think so.
I'm not sure. I'm sure, I mean, in today's day and age, I'm sure you can get it.
I'm sorry, Clint. You weren't there to participate in any of this.
Oh, that's okay.
Hey,
We'll
to make you
schedule
feel-
something.
Yeah. Hey, I wasn't there for the second part either, so.
Yeah, Colin's too busy doing boyfriend things.
Yeah.
Did everyone know Colin has a girlfriend? I mean, does everyone know that? I mean, he never really
Actually,
announced it.
I was unaware, but when you said boyfriend, I was gonna make a different kind of joke.
No.
I thought about it, but I met her and she's sweet, so.
Aw.
Yeah. Yeah, now that he has a girlfriend, he's no longer doing boyfriend things.
I'm no longer what?
Don't worry about it. There's a lot less crying coming from his room now, so it's all good.
Well, at least coming from him.
Yeah, that's
Well,
right.
now they're tears of joy.
Thanks, guys.
No, she's a great person. She's more talkative than the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just had like a Lars and the real girl moment.
Never seen it.
You know what? That's kind of where my mind was going with it too.
Why are fans so expensive?
I don't know.
It's because
talking
fame
about
is
what?
pricey.
What kind of fan?
right.
You talking about like one of those like big giant Japanese like fan types that you like put on the wall? You talking like ceiling fans, stand up ones?
Like a
Twitter
pedestal
followers.
fan. It should be like $10.
You know what bothers me? Speaking of fans, like why do people buy Twitter followers?
I don't know.
Who does that? Who does that?
They want to look like they're the shit. You know, it's like I've actually had to question this with on Reddit because I saw this going around too. People like buying reviews, like for iTunes.
It's really weird.
Yeah. No, I'd rather sit here with the 12 or 13 that we have than come up with some bullshit 2025. It's or 30 or
Right.
50, where the fuck it is. Like, I want to sink or swim on our own. I don't
I'm
want.
totally with you.
Well, I don't want I don't want come off as someone's like, oh shit, look at this guy, he has like over 10,000 fucking followers. It's like, really? I mean, how do you fucking have 10,000 fucking followers if you only have like 2,000, 3,000 views on your fucking podcast? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, yeah, it's garbage.
Yeah.
Like me, yeah, granted I could look at the numbers and stuff, but I think with the followers and everything, it's like I'd rather know exactly where I stand, on all fronts with the podcast. I don't want to sit here and on social media it look like I'm doing awesome and then, have to question it. No, I'd rather just know exactly how I'm doing,
Oh, absolutely. Well, back in, I want to say it was like probably February or March. I can't remember when it was. There was a glitch on Podbean that started giving us like listens or downloads some of it to our podcast, and there was so many of them. Like I think we jumped from like 300 to like 1,800 like overnight, and I remember like thinking like oh my god, it's fucking awesome. We finally got a fan base that's actually listening to all our shows and shit like that. Then like you kind of like start looking at the number and realize like that's not right. Like I mean, granted, like I know I'm popular, but I'm not that fucking popular. So when I got a hold of Podbean and everything to kind of figure it out, eventually it stopped. And I asked if there was any way to kind of like look back and like delete the ones that aren't really there. And unfortunately, I guess there's no way to really do that. So now I'm stuck with this number, but I mean, whether it's real, whether it's not, I know that the number keeps going up in some way, and I know people are still listening to it. So I mean, that's what I like and that's what I enjoy about it. But I will never sit there and purchase Twitter followers, Facebook followers, Instagram followers, iTunes reviews and shit like that, because just to do that, it's like, then what's the whole point of fucking doing this? I mean,
Right.
there's no fun in that anymore. But anyways, Clint, what's new with you, man?
Not a whole lot. Actually, today I had the opportunity to hang out with my best friend George. We've known each other since we were 10. He just moved to Naperville, where I am, like a few months ago.
Mm-hmm.
But this was the first time that we had the chance to get together since he moved. In fact, actually, just because of different things going on, actually, we haven't been able to hang out in about 2 years. So today was very needed, very necessary, and man, we just had a great time just hanging out, catching up, having ourselves a little cookout.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Other than that, I haven't really been doing too much, just a little bit of gaming. I finally turned the PS4 back on.
Nice. You playing No Man's Sky?
Oh, I am, and it is glorious.
That's what I've heard.
I'm enjoying it. You see, I had a bunch of people talk me into trying to play this game called Elite Dangerous, and I was playing it on the Xbox, but I mean, it's it's No Man's Sky, but a lot harder and without the like Minecraft like mining element to it.
Oh, okay.
So it's more just straight space exploration and you know like running cargo and things like that. But the controls are a bit harder and there's more that you have to consider. There's a whole thing if you want to try to land on a planet, you got to watch your like like the angle that you're flying in on, the speed, and all this stuff. And landing is a little bit more difficult. Going to a space station, for one, the entrance isn't that easy to see. And
Gotcha.
and you actually have to request docking at a space station. If they don't give you permission, or like if you're in it and you go to like land at like the wrong dock, or you do something wrong in there, like it'll actually turn hostile and people will try to kill you.
Jeez.
Yeah, but No Man's Sky, one, simplified the controls and simplified a lot of things. It took everything that was just, I don't want to say wrong, but just hard with Elite Dangerous and just totally simplified it and made it awesome. And then added this mining element to it, where, like, for example, you start off on a planet, your ship's broken down, you go around and actually gather the materials that you need to craft the replacement parts for your ship.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I love it because, now you like mine different elements to trade. All of your things obviously can run out of fuel, and you can use the elements that you gather to, to refill them or craft upgrades, and it's a blast. It's a great game. I've been enjoying a lot of it.
Yeah. How much can you interact with other players in the game at this point?
0.
Oh wow, you just play it by yourself.
Yeah. And that actually has been a huge actually issue and a bit of a controversy with Hello Games, because originally they were saying that there was going to be some multiplayer and that you could explore the galaxy with your friends and this and that. But then they started saying things like, instead of just saying no, there's not going to be any multiplayer, they started creatively wording things and saying things like, well, you could, but because everything is procedurally generated and stuff, and because of the scope and everything of the game, although it's possible, it's highly unlikely that you'll ever run into anybody just due to the size of the game, blah blah blah.
Gotcha.
Well, very early on, a couple guys actually were able to find the same system and actually met up at the exact same spot.
Oh wow.
They weren't able to see each other.
Huh. Jeez.
Yeah, so
they got caught with their pants down, basically.
Oh yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Goodbye, games.
Yep. But I mean, I still like it as a single player experience, though.
Yeah, I can see that, and I've heard there's a lot of good stuff with the planets are gorgeous, the creatures are gorgeous, different weather types are fantastic. I think the only complaints I've really heard have been like, if only it could be slightly more realistic, like if it were colder at the poles of the planets, or if you could see sort of Darwinian evolution in the creatures. So like a lot of the creatures, I guess, on different planets, or like on the same planet, they look completely different from each other, so that there's no possibility at all of like or a very highly unlikely probability of any type of shared ancestor or anything like that.
Yeah.
Which you could argue with like star seeding things but
yeah. But as far as like you were mentioning, like with the evolution of the different species and animals and everything, I mean the game pretty much runs in real time. in a sense of like if I'm on a map and I, like look toward like an objective I'm going to, or if I had been exploring and I'm looking at the beacon to get back to my ship, if it tells me that the ship is 10 minutes away, it's literally 10 minutes away. You know,
Gotcha.
like it is literally going to take, 10
Not just
real
10,
life
10
minutes to
in-game
get,
minutes, but 10 actual
yeah,
minutes.
yeah, just
Wow.
just to actually get back to that. So, I mean, as far as the timeline in which the game works, I don't think you're gonna see like evolutions of different creatures and things like that. Now, yeah, as far as like different like biomes, if you will, and things like that, like temperatures, like being like colder by the poles of the planets and things like that, that would be cool.
Right.
Because the weather and things like that, I mean, the climate of the planet does play a role in your exploration. Because your suit is designed to like withstand like different elements, with like heat and cold, or like if a surface or like the atmosphere is toxic,
Right.
your suit is designed to help shield you against that.
Oh, that's awesome.
However, that shielding can run out, and of course, you have to, use the elements that you gather in mind to, to replenish it.
Right.
But yeah, so I mean, that would be cool because you already have some consideration, when you play for like the actual climate that you're in. So yeah, being able to add something like that would just intensify that and just make it even more fun,
Right. Absolutely. And to me, this is another one of those games where it's like Pokemon Go, where it came out. I think they didn't expect to be as big as they were. They didn't expect people to be people on the internet and be so thorough with their checking of the game so quickly. And now they just basically now they've got nowhere to go but up. They need to probably add in patches for multiplayer, and they should probably figure out how to change the procedural generation of planets to include things like weather systems
Yeah.
and stuff. But
Yeah. And I love that and speaking of, I love that once you discover a planet or discover a species, you can actually rename it.
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so my starting planet and like the system that I started off in, my starting planet I called Bob.
That's
Yes.
tremendous.
I originated on the planet Bob,
My,
which was actually a reference to the movie Titan AE.
All right. I don't think I've seen that movie, but I've really wanted to for a long time.
I like it. Like the movie like didn't do so well in theaters. I kind of talked about it on the last Geek Dig with my buddy Dustin. But I mean, the movie, for example, like bombed at the box office and was actually responsible for closing down Fox's animation studio.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because the movie had an estimated budget between 75 and 90 million, and it only made 35 million in theaters.
Jeez.
But there are people out there like me who absolutely love this movie.
Yeah, maybe I did see it. I honestly don't remember.
You might have. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
it
it's
was
been
in
around
2000, so I would have been 10.
Yeah.
So,
But still, 16 years, you probably came across it at some point.
right. That's what I mean. So, I remember I really wanted to see it. That's the main thing that I remember about it. And it had the same kick-ass animation as like Atlantis: The Lost Empire and
Yep.
something else. I can't remember. But
And the cool thing with that
Treasure
one,
Planet.
too, yes, was it was a blend with hand drawn animation and CGI,
Right.
which And it's funny because there are points where you're looking at it and you're like, wait, did they hand draw this or is this the CGI? Like the two just blended in so well together.
Right. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it was amazing. But that was actually pretty much my week.
Fantastic.
Oh shit.
Oh.
No.
Wait,
See,
did you
I
fall
wish I
asleep,
could get more
Travis?
involved. No, no, I'm sitting here listening because like, I wish I could get more involved in the games you guys play. I mean, like,
Oh, you can.
cause like, I know I'm capable of doing it. It's just like the way you guys describe like the games that you play, like you make them sound like awesome and fun. And when I just look at it without hearing anyone talk about it, it just looks like, well, this just looks like another bullshit run around shoot 'em up game. Fuck it. Um, but no, I'm gonna get more involved in video games, stuff like that. And I actually decided that back when you were doing your 100th episode and was asking me about the Jeopardy questions you're gonna ask. And when I realized that I knew I couldn't answer not one question that you had or even came close to it, I
Hmm.
realized I need to step up my video game life. So
Well, from
I'm
a few
definitely
of
gonna
the
do that.
people that took a look at those questions, apparently a lot of people couldn't answer them.
Well, see, I mean, like, and but even like the way that this, I mean, even the way that people said it, like they came close. They had an idea. I had no fucking clue. I would have said Pong for everything, hoping to be right once.
Mew.
So,
Right, Travis? It's Mew.
it's always Mew. Any question, any Pokemon answer, Mew. Well, like I said, we are doing another movie
Mix up.
alternating. Yeah, still haven't come up with the name of it yet. We'll come up with it.
Yeah.
But this is now the time where the winner of last time will be taking the floor and becoming the host of this segment. So, Colin, because you won last time, you have the floor.
Hey, everybody. That's awkward, Colin. Yes, I won the last movie mix-up, mashup thing that we did with Disney movies and creating our own real-life versions of them and with a twist to them. We have decided to do this again, and I think we're gonna start doing it as a every so often type of show because it seems to turn out to be a lot of fun and just to hear the different versions of movies, it'll be a great thing to do.
I'm
Today,
excited.
instead of doing what we did last time with Disney movies, we have decided to change it up. And with this time, we're going to be doing taking 3 movies. I have given each player a different movie to do, and they have to make it into a Tim Burton film. Um, and they have to include having Johnny Depp and Tim Burton's wife, which I know I'm going to pronounce wrong, but Helen Bonham Carter or something like that.
Yeah, Helena Bonham Carter.
Yeah, something like that. Um, so beginning, I'll name off who has which movie, and we'll take it from there. Travis will be doing Bruce Almighty. Joey will be doing I Love You Man. And Clint will be doing Overboard. So, is all of our contestants ready?
As ready as he'll ever be.
Yeah.
Travis, you don't sound too sure there.
I am so completely ready to go last.
Okay. Well, we'll have you go last. Clint, how about you?
I can go.
Okay. That sounds like Clint wants to start us off with Overboard. So,
Alrighty.
Yeah, I'm actually just real quick. I'm actually really excited about this one because I've never seen Overboard. So whatever he described, I'm going to assume this is the real deal. So,
Oh, it's you,
Well,
you'll
maybe.
enjoy what I'm bringing forward, but it is not like the original version.
all I know is if it's anything like the last time we did this, I'm assuming somebody's going to be skull fucked. So, like,
Oh,
Oh, this movie.
yeah,
I know this movie.
yeah,
I've seen it.
yeah, the skull
The
fucking.
Skullfuck
oh,
trilogy.
Right. It's like the Cornetto trilogy, right?
Sure.
um,
Actually, I hate to disappoint everybody, but there was no skull fucking in this movie.
oh man.
Oh,
Well,
lame
because
ass.
no, because we're trying to make it a Tim Burton movie, and what
That was totally fine.
and what Tim Burton movie has ever portrayed skull fucking? However, what this movie does portray, in kind of a slightly different variation of Tim Burton's gothic visual style. I've decided to set this in Alaska during the winter, where they have the 6 months of darkness.
Nice.
Interesting.
Because it totally plays up that, like that darkness that, that is so prevalent in his other movies. Now, granted, it's usually like a bright exterior, dark interior, like you had in movies like Edward Scissorhands, Beetlejuice, something like that. But here, the interiors are going to be more lively, and the exterior is just going to be dark and bleak. And since a lot of his movies take place like in the winter or like late fall or like in the winter, this is set right after Christmas. So it's like, just after New Year's, and like January, everything's dark and bleak. And so anyway, the three main characters in this, I didn't cast the kids just because I don't know who
Yeah.
I would cast for the kids. But obviously you have Helena Bonham Carter as Joanna / Annie. You
Yes.
have as Grant Staten the third, you have Johnny Depp. And then as Dean Prophet, who was the Kurt Russell in the original Overboard, you actually have being played by Mark Wahlberg.
Interesting.
Nice.
Which I was kind of trying to pull for, because you see, I know he could do this type of role because of like seeing him in the Perfect Storm. So I know he's already got like the whole, like instead of a carpenter, he's a fisherman and he works at a cannery. When his wife was killed, he ended up switching from being a fisherman to working at the local cannery because he needed to be home for his kids. And he's kind of having a hard time adjusting, and because he was always out so much, on the boats and everything, there's a sense of estrangement from his kids, and they're having a hard enough time adjusting to the death of their mother. But as he's going home one day, he sees a car going off the road. It's just like fishtailing, going out of control, drives off the road, crashes. He stops because he wants to try to help whoever's inside. Turns out, she says her name is Annie. And, she said she got lost. She was trying to find her, her way back home. She just got lost off the road. Anyway, Dean takes her home. And he's, she's a little banged up and things like that. And he's like, well, look, you can stay here for the night. Here we'll get you, cleaned up, bandaged up. You can call any like loved one or, whoever. And she says, she's not married, but, he's like, well, if you have like insurance that you need to call, or, just whoever, here, I'll take care of you. So she agrees. He takes her home, and he's trying to deal with the kids. He's got, her, that he's nursing back. And well, the next day or over the next couple of days, cause she's, he's helping her, he's nursing her. And one morning, like a few days later, she wakes up and she's Joanna again. Because as we find through the course of the movie, she actually has a split personality. So,
Right.
Okay.
So here she, her main identity is Joanna. But sometimes she goes into extended stints as Annie. And, she, like, as Joanna, she's looking around and she's like, oh my God, why am I here? What's all this around me? Is this guy hurting me? Is he doing something? So she, like, freaks out and leaves and goes home to her husband. And enter Johnny Depp.
Okay.
And, he has a bit of a surprised look on his face when, she comes walking in, but not happy surprise. Because when she comes in and, gives him a hug and she starts explaining everything that was going on, just the look on his face, you actually jump back to a little bit of a flashback. Because Tim Burton also loves a good flashback scene. As we've seen from films like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. That you see that, he knew that she likely wasn't going to be coming back. So, everybody's trying to get back on with their lives and everything. And, and then you see another scene where they start arguing, Joanna and Grant, and he hits her. And this actually not only triggers her going back into, her split personality as Annie, but we get into another flashback scene, where, he after having a previous argument with her, he actually loosened and like tampered with the brakes on her car.
Grant did.
Yep, the husband did. Because that was what ended up prompting her to drive off the road in the first place.
Yes.
Because she couldn't slow down to stop. And that was why he had that random look of surprise when she came home, because he didn't expect her to. Because as you find out, she was the one with all the money and everything, and he just sort of married into it, and, he was trying to kill her for, like, the insurance money and, things like that. As you can kind of piece together.
Yeah.
But she, she goes back to Annie and she realizes, okay, I don't know where I am, but I know that this guy Dean is going to help me. So, she tracks him back down, because all she knew was that he was, at the scene, helped her out of the car, got her home, so she was able to track down the cannery that he was at and met back up with him, and he's like, well, here, you can stay with me as long as you need, everything. Well, this time, Grant decides, the husband decides he's going to go look for her. Or wait, actually, hold on. I'm jumping ahead. So she actually, while Annie's with Dean, she ends up reverting back to Joanna, except he's kind of witnessing what's going on, kind of realizes, what's going on. He's like, look, here, we'll get to the bottom of this. And she actually tells him, yeah, I do, have this. I've been in therapy and, for this and that. So he talks to they go to to her psychologist, and, both of them talk to the psych. The doctor tells Dean, what he can, without breaking confidentiality, but basically lets on, through another flashback sequence, because you see, like, her father being, a bit distant and, just pretty much a horrible father, and eventually just to the point of leaving, and then she's in this, messed up relationship with her husband, and she created this personality of Annie to cope with that, that Annie is who she feels safe as, so, so she's deciding as Joanna, like, she's like, look, I know, this guy's my husband, but, the doctor also was able to help trigger with her, hey, this guy cares about you. He's been helping you out. So she decides she wants to go back to him. Grant's like, her husband's like, no, she's not going to, this whole time he's like, okay, she is not going to be leaving me. She's not going to, do this to me. This is going to be over, but it's going to be over my way. So he starts trying to track her down. Finds them back at the cannery. Because she decides she wants to be with him. He's going to try to get her to work there. And, well, Grant shows up. They end up going out to the docks. There's a huge argument turned fight, and during the fight, Grant accidentally goes into the water and goes down. So Grant dies.
Oh, jeez.
I just want to say real quick. I like the part, like, as soon as you say he goes down and dies, a fucking plane flies by. It's like that shit was timed perfect.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I didn't even notice it because it's in my microphone.
That's the
That was so cool.
that was awesome. Yeah. So basically, he dies, and she decides, Joanna/Annie decides that she's going to stay with him, with Dean. So they go home and they're living what you assume is happily ever after. And I think this may be the first Tim Burton movie with a post-credit scene. But the post-credit scene takes place 2 years later, where you find that her split personality has intensified and magnified.
Okay.
To the point where she is now in an institution.
Interesting.
And that is where it ends. So
Wow.
you see them go home, for the whole happily ever after thing. But, if you stay after the credits, then you see that it really wasn't happily ever after.
It may have all even just happened in her head.
This is true. We don't know. And Actually, it's too bad that movie wasn't done by Tim Burton. It was that movie Identity, where the whole movie did take place in the dude's head.
Oh, that's a great movie.
Oh, that was an awesome movie.
John Cusack.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, I own it. Definitely a good one.
I love that movie. Yeah. So anyway, that was my rendition of Overboard.
Very good. Very good.
Which, by the way,
That's
I also have to throw in there, the soundtrack, like most Tim Burton movies, was done by Danny Elfman.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
I dig that.
So we have multiple personality. Well, I guess it'd still be considered multiple personality even if there's still only two.
Yeah, because because just in the original Overboard, yeah, she had amnesia.
Yeah.
So she was able to be manipulated into this other personality, but
Yeah.
I felt that it was a little more Burton-esque if she was just actually sick with something.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Definitely, I agree. So. Okay, yeah, that's I'd go and watch it. So.
Absolutely.
I guess it's time for our second one.
Yeah.
We'll have Joe go.
I just assumed Travis wanted to go last.
Yeah.
So, I did not go into that much detail because I am a schmuck, is what I am. But basically, it would be it's the movie I have is I Love You, Man, the classic Paul Rudd and Jason Segel buddy comedy. The basic premise of the movie is Paul Rudd is going to marry Rashida Jones, and he can't find a best man because he's never had a good guy friend. And so shenanigans ensue. He meets Jason Segel's character. Segel's character eventually sort of becomes like the main relationship in Paul Rudd's character's life. And it ends up almost ruining the relationship between Rudd's character and Jones's character. And then in the end, everything works out and it's a happy ending. The change that I'm making is, if I may read this here, Paul Rudd's character would be played by Johnny Depp.
Okay.
Rashida Jones's character would be played by Helena Bonham Carter.
Okay.
And the movie is exactly the same in every way, except as his wedding approaches, Peter Clavin realizes he has no one. I have the worst handwriting. I should have been a doctor. He realizes he has no one to act as his best man. After a series of mandates, he summons a demon, Sidney Fife, and the pair become instant friends. But as Peter's demon siphons off his life force, Sidney grows stronger, threatening Peter's relationship with his fiancée, forcing her to learn sorcery and banish Sidney back to the hell from whence he came, saving her husband.
Nice. I just want to ask, are you Johnny Depp, like as in Chocolat?
Yes, actually. I'm glad. That's amazing. Yes, it was Johnny Depp as in Johnny Depp from Chocolat. And I was thinking Helena Bonham Carter from when she was playing Bellatrix
Ooh.
in the Harry Potter films.
Okay.
Well,
But everything else about the movie is the goofy, lighthearted look.
I've never seen Chocolat.
Nor have I.
So, I mean, Joe, have you?
I have, actually.
Okay.
Because I took French in high school, so
Gotcha.
you watch certain things when that happens.
For you guys that don't know and haven't seen it, there's a scene where Peter Clavin and Sidney Fife argue about how it's pronounced. The movie, is it chocolat or chocolate? And
I forgot about that scene.
And also, if you don't know, Johnny Depp is in that movie. So
yeah, he kind of looks like he looks like Johnny Depp, but like a Han Solo Johnny Depp. is how I think he looks in Chocolat.
Gotcha. I take it you are complete, Joe?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I am.
Is that it?
It is. It's not a complicated movie.
No, it's not.
Not a lot happens. There's no. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. And like he said, he's keeping most of the storyline, so which would work.
Yeah, I think almost would be. In some ways, it'd be funnier because you have instead of goofy handsome Paul Rudd, you have just ridiculously suave and gorgeous Johnny Depp interacting with what is it, Andy Samberg
Yeah.
played his younger brother.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be hilarious because Depp would be being Depp, so he'd be playing a fairly serious, brooding character, as opposed to Paul Rudd's goofy, GCR-esque character.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It amuses me in my head,
Okay, that works.
and I like Jason Segel slowly gaining power and strength,
Nice.
and then right at the end, Helena Bonham Carter has to drive the dagger of Abraham through his chest,
Oh.
releasing Paul Rudd's life force.
Oh.
Johnny Depp's life force. Sorry.
Nice.
So
I
I don't know.
Hey, it works. Travis, it seems like you are up, good sir.
Yeah. Okay. So. God. Okay. So I'm doing Bruce Almighty here. And pretty much it's gonna be the same movie. It's just gonna be altered throughout to adjust for the movie that I thought would make it better. To start out with, in Bruce Almighty, it's based off like a newsroom or a news studio stage, whatever the fuck it is. That's not the case with this. Now it's with a company that makes like cartoons, advertisements and stuff like that.
Okay.
Okay. You got the head guy, the Jack Baylor guy, who he runs everything. That's gonna be Jim Carrey, because Jim Carrey's still gonna be part of this movie, but that's gonna be him now.
Okay.
Okay. Then you got Bruce Almighty, who is played by Johnny Depp. His girlfriend Grace, who's originally Jennifer Aniston, and this is gonna be Helena Carter. Evan Baxter, his nemesis, if you will, that's gonna be played by Scott Eastwood. I don't know if you guys don't know who Scott Eastwood is. Like Clint Eastwood's son.
Absolutely.
He's a stud. So
Really is.
Yeah. So you got slightly older, bothered at the world Johnny Depp versus rugged macho Scott Eastwood. And God is played by Sam Elliott.
Fantastic.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
'Cause who
It's
else
almost like
dude, who else could grow that godlike mustache?
Yeah, I thought about going with more just stick with Morgan Freeman and everything, but with the Ranch on Netflix, I'm such a Sam Elliott kick. I just love his voice, and he has like that deep voice. It just you'll see as I'm going with this, but I think it just worked out perfect.
Oh, and I can picture it because I also just recently watched The Ranch.
It's so good, isn't it?
Oh, I loved it. So yeah,
I can't wait for
I'm
the-
picturing that Sam Elliott as God.
That's
awesome.
exactly what I was going with. So anyway, so it basically it's out of like a cartoon advertisement company. It's still called Bruce Almighty, but it's called Bruce Almighty: The Final Draw, like instead of the final straw, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like
Excellent.
there, yeah. So it starts out like normal, he's at work, he's bothered, things aren't going the way he wants them to go. He can look out his little cubicle, he sees Evan Baxter, he's sitting at the watering circle, with a bunch of people, mostly hot chicks, laughing at everything, and shit. He's talking about, him working out, him doing this, helping out, the needy and all this other stuff. Here comes Jim Carrey. Now, this is like fucked up, like 13 Jim Carrey, okay? Like totally messed up in the fucking head, Jim Carrey.
Okay.
Just tweaked out of his fucking mind. And, he's getting on, Bruce's case about, we need to get this done, we need to get this done, we need to get this done. He works long nights and everything, it's just a lapse of time watching him work throughout the night into the morning and shit, and, barely ever getting home. And when he does get home, he's confronted by his girlfriend, Grace, and, Grace wants to be supportive, but she just can't deal with his negativity. He's negative about everything all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So finally he gets to the point where he's just fed up. He's just tired and everything. He gets in his car and he goes for a drive. He's just driving. He doesn't know where he's going until eventually his car breaks down. He gets frustrated. He gets out. As he's walking, it starts to rain. And this is where he finally gets fed up. His life's going to shit. He's stuck in the middle of God knows where. It's raining. Finally, he starts yelling up at God and everything. Like, why it's got to be me? Why is it always me? How come it always has to be me? And all of a sudden, the rain just completely stops. And then, boom, fucking Sam Elliott's standing right behind him. He's like, you think you could do a better job? And all of a sudden, he turns around, and then, boom, all of a sudden, Sam Elliott just hits him in the fucking head. He just falls. he just falls to the ground. Wakes up. He's in his room. Doesn't know how he got there. Has no idea how. Grace, is oblivious to the fact that he was even gone. He gets up, acts like nothing normal. He keeps going through the shit. Going to work. Things still bother. Scott Eastwood's over there, flexing his arms, showing off his abs and shit. And all of a sudden, just for the hell of it, Bruce, he just doodles. Just draws a little drawing of Scott Eastwood right next to the water cooler. And all of a sudden, he just draws like a little spurt of water that leaks out of the water cooler. And as soon as he draws that, it happens in real life. And he looks at it like, well, that's a level of coincidence, but hey, it's whatever and everything. And then he draws a little flip book. He draws the next page of him slipping in the water puddle. So he goes to walk away and he slips in the water puddle. He's like, what's going on here? It's like, so he's saying, it's just gotta be a coincidence. It has to be a coincidence and everything. He goes back to work and everything. Then he hears, Jack Baylor come back around, bitching at people and everything. And all of a sudden, he just does another doodle of Jack Baylor jumping up on top of a desk, yelling, "I quit," and he just does it. Now at this point, he gets freaked out. He gets completely freaked out, like, what's going on? How is this? And all of a sudden, boom, Sam Elliott's standing over his cubicle. He's like, "You're controlling the world." And he's like, "What the fuck?" Whatever it is. Obviously, he won't cuss. We'll give it PG-13, but you get one F word in there. I don't think we'll use it there yet. Anyways, when he does that, everyone in the entire building is just completely frozen, except for them two, Sam Elliott and Johnny Depp. He's like, "What's going on?" He's like, "You said it, why am I picking on you? Why am I doing this to you? You think that it's so easy him to do everything? I'm just going to let you do this. You have a shot. You control everything you want. You are a god." But be careful, because with this, job, it comes a great responsibility. But he'll say more of a Sam Elliott, better way, than I would. He just vanishes. Johnny Depp kind of looks around. Everyone's getting back together. He's kind of freaked out and everything. Well, that night he goes home and goes to bed. And as he sleeps, also he starts having dreams. But it's like the weird, fucked up animated, Nightmare Before Christmas, animated, visions and shit. But it's not it's not like anything that makes sense. It's just randomness of, people hoping for things, people wishing things would happen, people praying at, grandparents', hospital beds, and people, complaining about their cars. It's just fluttering through his head. And then all of a sudden, he just wakes up, what the hell, So he's panicking, he's drinking his coffee, he's sitting there with a piece of paper, he just gets bored. He's like, what were these dreams about? And then he's trying to remember the dreams. So he draws a picture of a woman kneeling alongside a bed of a man who's sick. And all of a sudden, he draws a smile on the man's face. he draws, the guy who's next to the car that broke down, and it shows like exhaust smoke coming out of the car, and like a guy smiling and stuff like that. And he's just doodling what he was doodling, but in a more positive way. And all of a sudden, like, he listens to the news the next morning and everything, and it talks about how, like, like a priest, who was cancerous and dying, miraculously recovered, and a guy was talking about how, like, his car just started out of nowhere, and basically everything that he was drawing came true. Like in Bruce Almighty, like when he was just typing out like all the wishes, emails, and things, how like, he says yes to everything. So basically, everything Johnny Depp drew, it came to life, and every time somebody had a wish, it came to him in his dreams, and eventually, like, he just drew it out. And now, like in the actual movie, and how it is in this movie, is he just started making everyone's possibilities happening. Everyone's winning the lottery, and just like how it was, everything's going great, and at this point, he becomes very cocky, becomes very arrogant and everything, and his girlfriend, who wanted to have the confidence, is worried, and now he's too overconfident. Um, and during this time, Evan's life is going to shit because he's getting fat because Johnny Depp drew him fat, and he smells and shits himself, whatever it is. Just just makes him look like the bad guy. So she gets upset with everything he's doing, so then he tries to draw them together, and obviously it doesn't work. He just tries to doodle it real quick while she's there at the school, and he just tries to doodle it real quick, and it doesn't happen. He goes on to a freak out and everything, kind of like he does in the real one. He just, his shit's falling apart. He doesn't want to do it anymore. He gets hit by the bus or whatever it is. He's in the hospital and everything. And all it is just these images in his head again, going back to the Nightmare Before Christmas animations where he's talking to Sam Elliott, and you can see like the weird, like, cartoony mustache, which probably like the best thing in this entire fucking movie. Tell me he doesn't want to do it anymore. He doesn't want to do it anymore. And he's like, you don't have to worry about doing it anymore. And he's like, what do you mean? And all of a sudden, just face to white, and the movie ends.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. I noticed that there were some parts that were similar to the movie, like the thoughts.
Yeah, like I wanted to keep it like consistent, but I wanted to alter it in a way where it wasn't exactly the same, but keep the same like plot line and everything. And obviously, in the real one, he doesn't die at the end, but in mine, he does die.
Yeah.
He will fade off, but like it's like a fade off where like he's like stuck in like the Nightmare Before Christmas themed like animation. He's just kind of stuck in there, and he's actually at peace because things are a little bit better there. But he is dead at the end.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely sounds like a good movie. But that seems like we have completed our top 3 shows, or our 3 shows for this episode. Movies, not shows. I know we will have a vote on Twitter again.
Yep.
I have my thoughts on the shows, which you guys all did a great job. Some people, it would have been a little better to get a little more description, but it's all right.
Yeah, Travis.
Yeah, my bad.
Just kidding.
It's all right.
I know who we're talking about.
So, but like I said again, we'll get these shows back on Twitter. We have the multiple personality overboard that Clint did. We have the demonic, correct? Demonic
Yep.
summoning for I Love You Man. And then we have Sam Elliott as God. And Travis's Bruce Almighty. All of them are very good. I would want to watch every single one of them. But at this time, I will turn the show back over to Travis.
Oh, well, thanks, man. Yeah. So whenever we do get this show launched, we will put out a poll, and we'll give you guys 4 or 5 days, to put your vote in and everything, see which one you like better. And we'll just have to go from there. I'm excited to see how the poll goes, and who knows, we'll definitely set up to do this again. As long as the feedback keeps coming through, do you guys enjoy these episodes? We're going to keep on doing them because I have fun. I'm sure everyone else has fun. And as long as we keep doing this, I would love for Clint to come back and keep doing them with us.
Oh, I definitely have fun.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
Awesome. Joey,
Yes.
what you freaking on this week?
Moving. I know we're actually recording this for like a week from now, and I'll already have moved by that point. But, like Thursday, I got like 4 days left in this place that I'm currently living, and then like 3 days after that, I'll be in Connecticut. So
what prompted the move to Connecticut?
I have an internship out there. I'm going to be the intern at a church out in Washington Depot, Connecticut. So should be good. I'm really looking forward to it. It's just, it's like an 800-mile move across the country.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's a big move.
Yeah.
So
So I'm kind of glad that it's only going to be 9 months.
yeah, and your wife is moving with you. So
Right. So that'll be good.
yeah.
Okay, so are you guys coming back to Chicago after, or?
Yeah, I actually still will have another year of school left. And then also she's planning to start school again when we get back. So,
Okay.
yeah, can't get rid of us that easy. We'll be around for a couple of years.
Well, I wasn't
Joey,
trying. In fact, I was trying to find a way to keep you here.
I don't know. Joey's plans. He's gonna come back, move to Peatone. His lovely wife will be a school teacher in our small town, while he not only preaches at a local church but also be a line cook for Fire Pit Bar and Grill.
Yep. That's the dream.
Yeah,
Is it now?
It is now.
that's the
I saw their kitchen. I love their kitchen. It's fantastic.
yeah. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't heard, every Monday and Wednesday at Fire Pit Bar and Grill, you can go there and get a burger and beer for just $6.99. Or if you're more of a morning person and you like going out and getting some breakfast, you go to Fire Pit Bar and Grill on Saturday and Sunday between 6 and 11 and enjoy a delicious breakfast. Recommend it.
It is so good.
Yeah, you can find them on Facebook at Fire Pit Bar or go to their website, firepitbar.com. They have a lot of bands coming up from what we discussed on last week's show. Is they have a lot of bands coming up that are coming to play. They also have a golf outing now in September. And information will come with that as we go through, but definitely check them out. Colin,
Yes.
what are you freaking on this week?
I start school tomorrow.
Technically, you started school 2 weeks ago.
I started on the 22nd, I should say. Or started on the 22nd. I'm going to be taking JavaScript. So
That's awesome.
yeah, well, let's hopefully it's not insane, but I don't think it will be. Plus, I have plenty of people that I know that can help me with any of my stuff that I need. So
Nice.
that's what I'm excited about. I just wish the teacher would post the shit that I need to do, because
Right.
he hasn't yet, and it starts tomorrow.
That's the worst.
But I think it's the teacher I had before, and he's usually, from what I was told, is very slow on getting things done. So
Silly, I say.
yeah. But
Clint, what are you freaking on this week?
Well, actually, I'm getting really excited for an upcoming movie because I was able to get tickets for a premiere for it.
what movie is that?
The new Rob Zombie movie, 31.
Ooh, that looked good.
Yeah, and I'm not 100% sure yet, but I may be going to a premiere the night before for Yoga Hosers.
Awesome.
I'll have to let you guys know about that one, but the one for 31 is a sure thing. The premiere I'm going to is on September 1st, which the movie doesn't actually fully release until the 16th.
Oh wow.
So it's awesome. I get to see it like 2 weeks early. I'm very excited.
Yeah, you'll definitely have to tell us about that.
Oh, I will. I mean, because
Good.
as far as I know, there's not going to be like any non-disclosure agreements or anything like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess after this screening, they're because it's going to be at like a number of select theaters through the country and stuff. But then they're going to broadcast, I guess, like a Q&A type session with Rob Zombie after the movie.
Nice.
So I'm really excited about that. Um, you know, also, I had been trying to figure out why, since I got my PS4, I couldn't use this splitter, like this HDMI splitter that I had.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally found the right information this week and figured out the splitter I was using basically draws its power from the devices that it's, connected to. And
Okay.
apparently the PlayStation has issues with, or like a lot of these have issues with the PlayStation, because it doesn't have enough power to run it, so it wouldn't work on it, and it would work fine on my Xbox. And I even tried like a different HDMI cable and everything. So I shopped around and I ended up getting a new HDMI splitter. But this one had its own power supply,
Okay.
which I got to hook up. What was it? Actually, Friday night after work, and it works beautifully.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
so
That's
I was
awesome.
excited because if I had wanted to switch between the Xbox and the PlayStation, I just had to unplug the HDMI cable from the Xbox, plug it into the PlayStation, but then I had to move the network cable too and everything, and it was just a pain in the butt. But
Yeah.
now that I got that resolved, I was also able to get the PS4 connected to the Wi-Fi. So
That's always good.
yeah, yeah. So now I don't have to mess with any connections. I can just switch the thing back and forth,
Yeah.
Nice.
which I don't even have to get up for because apparently it'll like automatically turn to the channel to whichever device is turning on.
Yeah.
But if I ever do have that trouble, it actually has a little remote.
Nice.
So I was like, yay. Because what man doesn't love a good remote control?
Right?
Right.
So that's it. I have a new remote control. My tech finally works, which I actually figured out the issues that I was having before with my mic from the first time we recorded. It was actually the mic cable. So I ended up getting a new cable, and now that works too. So I guess I'm kind of geeking out about that now that we'll just encompass all of that and just say that I'm geeking out because my tech works.
Okay. Okay.
So
Nice.
that, and then this movie that hasn't happened yet, but I'm excited for it because I traditionally like Rob Zombie movies. Currently, with the exception of Halloween 2.
Okay.
Nice.
Travis, how about you? What are you freaking out this week?
Well, the Will County Fair's coming into town,
That's right.
so I'm gonna be drinking in the beer tent. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. But also, I'm also really excited that I found this YouTube channel. Um, I forget what it's called. It's like how it should have ended or how it would have ended. Basically, it's take movies and give like animated alternate endings
Yes.
to it. I'm trying to find it real quick because how it should have ended. Um, it should. I don't know how I found it. I don't know what I was looking for when it came up, but like it showed how I found the how Captain America Civil War should have ended, and it was the funniest fucking thing that I've seen in a long time. So I started watching how Finding Nemo should have ended, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of Crystals, like just all of them. X-Men Apocalypse, Batman vs Superman, Aquaman versus Superman, Hero Swap. It's a funny channel on YouTube, and I definitely recommend checking it out.
Okay. Definitely
So,
will.
so yeah, so just that stuff. Nothing new on Netflix lately, so I haven't been doing anything on that. But yeah, YouTube, and the fair. So that's what I'm excited for.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. Hey Joe.
Yes.
Every Thursday, our fans, listeners, people in general, could catch Geek Cast Joe here on this freaking show. But where can they find you on Saturdays?
On Saturday mornings, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, you can find me over at the Geekcast Live Podcast at geekcastlivepodcast.com/podcast. Or if you want the shorter URL, just use gcl.ninja. You can also find us on Facebook, iTunes, SoundCloud, and Twitter by searching Geekcast Live.
Nice. Clint, where can everyone find you?
Well, you can find me as part of the Geek Dig podcast over at geekdigpod.com, which is also available on iTunes, Stitcher, Satchel Player FM, and Google Play. Oh, and you can find me on Twitter at Vengeful Jedi or at Geek Dig Pod.
Nice. Fantastic. Colin, you got anything?
I ain't got nothing.
Colin's got nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, you can find this freaking show here on iTunes, Stitcher, now on Google Play, and also Podbean, where we have been from day one. You can find links to Stitcher and Podbean just by going to our website, thisfreakinshow.com, where we'll also take you to our Facebook, our Twitter, and our Instagram accounts, so you don't have to worry about searching us. We're on iTunes. You can check us out there, and while you're there, give us a 5-star review and tell us how well we're doing. I know we're doing great, but I'd love to hear from someone else other than myself. Yeah, just, thank you for taking your time out to listen to us. Clint, thank you for coming on our show again. Joey, good luck in Connecticut.
Thank you.
Colin, you're down the end of the fucking hall. See you in like 2 minutes. As always, I am Travis.
I'm Awkward Colin.
I'm Geekcast Joe.
And I'm Clint.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of This Freaking Show. I'm out.